bigger than the belt. Before the punches, before the roaring crowds, before the hype train derails or the next belt is claimed, there's a hospital bed, a man fighting for his life, not in a cage, but in silence. Before we get to Merab, O'Malley, or Umar, we need to talk about Ben. Because sometimes, the most important fight doesn't happen under the lights. Ben's battle, the fight no one trains. For Ben was in Nevada, but his family was hundreds of miles away back in Wisconsin. His body, already battered by time and trauma, suddenly gave out. The doctors found a hole in his lung. Pneumonia, sepsis. The word transplant came up, and it wasn't about sports, it was life or death. The family's only mission? Get him back to Wisconsin, fast. Not because the hospitals were better, because if this was the end, they wanted him near them. Geography became legacy. Reports started swirling. Ben is home. But that didn't mean home like you'd hope. It meant he was now in a facility in Wisconsin instead of Nevada. Not in a recovery montage. Still in danger, still fighting. No press conferences, no octagon walkouts. Just machines humming and prayers whispered. Because while fans debate rankings, some warriors are just trying to take their next breath. There's something sobering about a fighter who can no longer throw a punch, but still refuses to quit. And Ben's story has that quiet gravity, the kind that humbles even the loudest voices in the sport. Fighters might earn belts, but what Ben's fighting for? You can't hang that on a wall. You just survive it. And then there's Merab, the man who made even hardened fighters feel fear. That Merab, his opponent said, was different. At UFC 316, he didn't just fight, he devoured. He felt like a different species. One who doesn't slow down, doesn't tire, and definitely doesn't care about your flashy footwork. Even elite fighters like Sean O'Malley admitted to feeling nervous, something rare for a man who thrives in chaos. The scariest part? Merab hasn't peaked yet. He's become the kind of fighter who makes others rethink their careers. He breaks more than bones. He breaks willpower. Watching him move, you get the sense you're witnessing inevitability with gloves on. And that's terrifying. Let's talk O'Malley. Bright colors, viral clips, knockout power. But ask anyone with a functioning fight IQ and they'll tell you, a rematch with Merab right now? Not going to happen. Not once, not twice, not without receipts. 2 to 3 dominant wins, minimum. Top 5 opponents, violent, decisive, inarguable wins. That's the only ticket back into that cage with the Georgian juggernaut. No more title shots off Instagram likes. Even O'Malley's own camp seemed to sense it. Pre-fight nerves were sky high, and post-fight reflections were laced with one phrase. We weren't ready for that. The Sugar Show isn't canceled, but the rerun won't play until it's got a new script and a main character with far more mileage. Now Umar? That's a different beast entirely. There's history there, tension. In a car in Abu Dhabi, Umar was hyped. How's he gonna beat me? He asked. Fair question. His brother chimed in. Well, he'll defend 100 times. It was funny until it wasn't. Because once you're in the cage with Merab, things stop being theoretical. The pressure, constant, the takedowns, relentless, the oxygen, gone. I tried to tell you, brother, someone said after the fight, but some lessons are only learned when your back is literally on the mat. Now fans are circling back to that clip, re-watching it with a new tone. That wasn't confidence, it was foreshadowing. And the sequel may already be in pre-production. Everyone talks cardio. Merab can shoot 100 times and still jog home. But fights aren't won on treadmills. It's about how you control chaos. Umar's grappling? Surgical. Ice cold. If anyone can turn Merab's hurricane into a chess match, it's him. Still, concerns linger. That high chin during exchanges, that occasional reach, sparring with guys like Jiri or Khalil Roundtree Jr. could sharpen the blade or expose cracks. Fans love the fantasy matchup. Merab's chaos versus Umar's composure. A firestorm against a scalpel. Who breaks first? The one who never slows down? Or the one who never flinches? Islam Makhachev moving up? Now we're in blockbuster territory. Islam versus Jack Della Maddalena isn't a warm-up. It's a career risk. Jack will ruin your year, someone said, and they weren't joking. Islam's earned the right to jump divisions, but Jack's not a handshake fight. He's a punch that resets your calendar. And fans are already fantasizing about Islam versus a former pound-for-pound king in a final supercard showdown. There's poetry in the matchup. A tactical genius versus a man who hits like he owes you money. Both men could be the best. But one's going to leave the octagon questioning everything. In the end, the headlines will chase belts. But the heart of the sport? It lives in the quiet. In guys like Ben, who fight without a spotlight. In men like Merab, who rise through sheer will. In challengers like Umar and Jack, waiting to write the next chapter. Some warriors fight for belts, others just fight to breathe. And in both cases, the stakes couldn't be higher. Keep them in your thoughts, all of them. The machines, the legends, and the quiet fighters you'll never see, but should never forget. I'm Jax Teller for Behind the Lines. See you next time. 745